that obesity be recognized as a disease. But having said that, you don't want to wait until the disease is there. It's like with diabetes, people wait till the blood sugar is 126, then they offer you drugs for the diabetes. That process started 10 years earlier, and it was involved with the abdominal obesity, putting a strain on the pancreas and burning out the pancreas. And we know from the diabetes prevention program done in the United States by the National Institutes of Health that a very modest program of diet and exercise can prevent 60% of new cases of diabetes over 5 years in people who start out with a high blood sugar. If you start out even earlier, you can prevent more of it. So I think what we're talking about here is don't worry about obesity. In London, Jimmy Bell and Hammersmith did a study. 40% of people had excess internal body fat, even with a normal waist and a normal body weight. So we are a wellness company. Don't think that we're just trying to treat the diagnosed obese. But in any case, with every person who's seeing a doctor, we always ask them to get the approval of their doctor while they're on our program. Now, many people who go on our program who have diabetes and hypertension especially, they end up not needing the medication anymore. They lose weight and they get off the hypertension drugs. And with diabetes, I always recommend they keep one drug, because I'm an endocrinologist, called metformin, which is off of patent, nobody makes any money on it. But it is a wonderful drug that makes the insulin work better and relieves the stress on the pancreas. So I do recommend that. But I think that nutrition, Hippocrates in 500 BC said, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. So the idea is that you should be using nutrition and exercise. We don't teach it in American medical schools. American medical schools basically drugs and surgery, because it's based on a military tradition where you just get a soldier fixed up and put him back in the battlefield. And even in the 1800s, when people were getting treated at Mass General Hospital in Boston, they never fed them. And it was a woman, Fanny Farmer, who walked around with a pail full of soup, feeding people, that really got people nourished, and they found better results. So that, before they were feeding them, 90% of people were dying in the hospital. So it affects your immune function when you're not nourished, and so nutrition is extremely important. So today we have dietitians that we work with, and this morning the clinical support dietitian at the local hospital here in Manila came to our conference, and as a result of hearing what we said, she's going to change how she assesses patients in her hospital by measuring body composition. So it's very exciting. Thank you. And they're not happy. They're comedic on the outside. We've had a number of very fat comedians out there, some who tragically die of heart disease. So I think the idea is there are people with different shapes, and as long as that shape is due to muscle and not fat, I have no problem with it. But I think you mentioned a couple of people, I won't say who, but a couple of those people are my patients, being in Los Angeles. And I'm very successful with a lot of the celebrities, but we do it in a healthy way, because the video camera makes people look heavier. Because it's a 35 millimeter lens, so it's actually a wide angle lens. So many of them have to look thin, but I always work on a fitness basis. So you can have less thick body, but it has to be high muscle, low fat. And we're very successful with that. So combining healthy active lifestyle and protein, you can achieve that. And I don't encourage anybody to try to be a jolly fat man. Or, there's also this movement called Fat is Beautiful, where it's very heavy women. And it's and I agree, I teach this issue in my classes at UCLA called Fat is a Feminist Issue, and many women are held to a higher standard than men. But I think that the idea of glorifying being fat is not a good idea. I do think people should value different body shapes and dress appropriately for shapes, and each person has a best personal shape. And I think that we need to accept more diversity of body shapes rather than having these idealized thin women as the only healthy shape. So for example, I work out at a gym, and there's a young girl who's on the Princeton soccer team, and she's a very strong girl with big muscles. She's very fit, looks great, and she's happy in her body. So often people who have more muscle, they're made to feel unhappy by people around them. Also, another thing that happens is people will sabotage people who are successful losing weight. So sometimes if a woman starts losing weight and she has an obese husband, the husband is going to try to feed her more food so she won't get thin. And and sometimes co-workers at work will be jealous, and so they might bring some pizza or something to your desk. oh, just have a little bit, and they'll try to tempt you while you're losing weight. So that's another reason why our clubs are so important, because they provide the social support to keep you on track on a daily basis. We really owe a thanks to the Food Nutrition Research Institute for the surveys that they conducted. They were simple surveys, weight and height, but what they did was they revealed that the Philippines is on its way to an obesity crisis if something is not done. Because what's going to happen as the economy develops, those rural people are going to move in the city. The people who are middle class now are going to become more educated and lose weight, and you're going to look more like these other countries that have a large number of overweight, obese people of lower socioeconomic groups. So I think that in the next 20 years, all the projections are for a 100% increase in obesity, which is sort of what we've seen now. So it's been at a low level, but now it's going to go to a higher and higher level. So I think we have to have a public health approach to the community and get everyone socially involved. Have bicycle lanes, when I went to China in 1995, everybody was on bicycles. Now you go, there's nothing but traffic jams. So we're starting some bicycle lanes in Los Angeles. So I think there's a lot of things you can do. Take the soft drinks out of the vending machines in the schools, make sure that kids have physical education, create more weekend activities for children. All kinds of positive things that you can do beyond simply getting people on a quote-unquote diet. So this is much more than a diet. It's changing thought processes, attitudes, and we also have a healthy aging proposal going forward here in Asia, because many of the countries have an increased aging population. And the recent article in the Wall Street Journal indicated that people with a positive attitude about aging live 7.5 years longer than people with negative attitude. And the reason is the positive attitude people eat a balanced diet, they exercise, they follow their doctor's instructions. Whereas the negative attitude people are just depressed about being old and they sit around and get all kinds of diseases. So part of this is changing people's attitudes toward diet and lifestyle as well.
For coming to this wonderful event, and also I can see a few friendly faces. Every time we do this kind of event, always we see a few friendly faces. It's very nice to see you. And also, thank you so much, Dr. Heber, whatever you shared. And I think all those wonderful reporters will lead Philippines, help their country. So our Herbalife vision is changing people's lives in a right way. So we will do everything, whatever it helps Philippine health. So I think you will be the vehicle to deliver the message. No matter how wonderful things we have, if you don't deliver the good message to the public, maybe none of them might get it. So I think maybe this event can help you a lot. So Dr. Heber, yesterday, actually we just flew overnight. So he came to Korea 19th. Very late, and he had a few hours sleep, he had a big conference call, and the next day, all the event, 2 days, all the event. Then yesterday we flew here, then he had a few hours sleep, then in the morning, again, now we have event, but he is great and energetic and passionate, and to help Philippine health now. So I really thank you for sharing your wonderful the expertise. And also that Bong here, he has been with us 9 months. Yes, so 9 months we deliver baby, right? So now it's the time for him to deliver Philippine Herbalife. So very good, healthy baby. I think he will. And yeah, so I think all of you are here to deliver the message to the public, I guess. So hopefully we can have more events like this and help the people who need. So our mission, changing people's lives. So let's work together, and I want to see you again. And thank you so much for coming. And then let's have a very wonderful country, healthy country there. Thank you. And then, salamat, salamat, salamat.
So people have been so nice, so welcoming, and so courteous and great. And this meeting this morning was as good as it possibly could be. I think we're at a real juncture here in the Philippines of being able to start a movement to improve and improve nutrition, prevent obesity, and have people live healthier lives. So it's not just about the obesity, it's about wellness. And I think really everybody can get a benefit. You know, in our nutrition clubs, they asked me some time ago, one of the people from the company, I don't understand, Dr. Heber, why is it after just 3 days in the club, people are already feeling better? It's because when they get that protein for breakfast, the amino acids go to their brain, produce certain neurotransmitters, and get more mental energy. And a lot of people skip breakfast. About half of teenage girls skip breakfast because they think that it's going to help them lose weight. So they delay the breakfast, then they're hungry at lunch, and then by dinner time, everything goes out of control. So I think I'm really pleased to be here. This is the first time I'm in the Philippines. I'm going to look around Manila a little bit this afternoon, and I just really love the country. I love this place, and I will be back to do more, and I think we really have a wonderful chance to change nutrition here. Thank you.